Welcome to another Narc Survivor live video. In this one, an interesting topic, something that many of you may have dealt with already, or something that you may be dealing with in the future. And it's talking about why the narcissist is spying on you. And I'm really going to go into detail about this one and give you 7 reasons why the narcissist is spying on you. But first, let's talk about what caused you to click on this video. Because clearly, it's something you're confused about. You don't know what's going on with them. You don't understand why they're spying on you. You don't get why they're not leaving you alone. It's unwanted attention. You're not interested in them. So it doesn't make any sense to you. You don't know what's going on. And that's why you decided to click on this video, because you're looking for answers. You want to understand what's driving this behavior. What's happening in their minds? What are the thought process? What's causing them to react in this way? And I'm going to be giving you all of the answers in this video. By the end of it, you're going to know why they're spying on you. So if that sounds good to you, give it a thumbs up. Let's support the YouTube algorithm and get this video out there so that the people who need it will see it. So the first reason why they're spying on you is because it's a form of escapism. It's a distraction from their dissatisfaction with themselves and their miserable lives. Because otherwise, trust me, if someone's spying on you and maybe what they really want is connection, and they actually like themselves, they don't like disconnected from themselves, then that act of spying on you is not going to feel good for them. It's not going to be something they're going to continue to engage in. They're doing it because they enjoy it, because it gives them a thrill. It gives them excitement, an adrenaline rush, a dopamine hit. Now, yes, they may feel worse afterwards, but while they're doing it, while they're in the act of spying on you, it feels good. It may be the only time that they actually feel alive. So this is the first reason why they're spying on you. It's a form of escapism. They use this to disconnect from themselves. And in this form of escapism, by spying on you, they may also engage in idealism. Because remember, they have a black white mentality. They engage in splitting. So by spying on you, they are splitting off from themselves. And they're attaching to you. Which means that they are deriving energy, qualities, and characteristics from you. And that's what's making them feel good. And also that sense of power they get from watching you, and maybe you don't know that they're watching you. Or then also they can leave little hints, which again gives them a thrill. It gives them a sense of power. It gives them that duper's delight. And they may engage in idealism. They may be idealizing you while they're spying on you. They may be thinking that you look perfect, your life looks perfect, and they're associating themselves with you. They're thinking that they're like you. So then it's that narcissistic supply by proxy, even though it's just a fantasy in their minds that they've concocted. And it doesn't actually have anything to do with you in reality. Because of course they're not expressing it to you. You're not actually bonding with them. But for them, if they're idealizing you, then yes, it's providing them with some sense of self. And it's making them feel better because then they're disconnecting from themselves by associating themselves with you in that way. To where there's no interaction, there's no connection, it's just them watching you. And of course, this is how a lot of people in this world who have favorite singers, movie stars, what happens when they're watching them or listening to their music, they start to become more like them. They start to dress in a similar way. Or maybe they start to like singing themselves. Their personality, their characteristics, their appearance, everything begins to change. So of course, this is what could be happening with them. Because when they're watching you, it's likely that initially they're going to be idealizing you in some way. Because that's what attracts them, that's what draws them to you initially. But then of course, later on, it's still going to be that black and white mentality, but they're going to use you to idealize themselves, to prop themselves up on a pedestal through looking at your life and pointing out all of the things that are wrong, everything that they think is wrong with you, because that then makes them feel better about themselves. And this is why a lot of people, they like to watch dramas, soap operas, Big Brother. They like to watch these things because it just makes them feel better about themselves and their own lives. And so this is what the narcissist may be doing with you when they're spying on you. So this is the first reason why the narcissist spies on you. It's a form of escapism, a fantasy. Of course, if they were actually interacting with you and getting to know you, if they were actually interested in what you're putting out, rather than just seeing it as something that they can use, then that would be a different story. But they're more interested in disconnection. Disconnected from themselves, disconnected from you. So that's what it's about. Now, the second reason why the narcissist is spying on you is to steal. Now, you may be thinking, how can they steal if they're spying on you? Unless, of course, I just thought about this now, I haven't actually made note of this. But yeah, I guess they could be spying on you and seeing what you've got in your home, seeing if you've got money, and then plotting to steal it. That's something that they could do. But what I'm talking about in this reason is more about they want to see what you are doing. Because think about it, they've gone involved with you before. They may have already have stolen your characteristics, your qualities, and made that a part of their false self, which they then use to get narcissistic supply. So they may be spying on you to see what you're doing so that they can then copy and mimic you. Because maybe you got fed up with them doing that before. And maybe you started spending less time with them because you could see what they were doing, that they were copying you, they were mimicking you. And not because it was something that they liked already or that they were already about, but it's just something they saw in you, they idealized it, and then they made it a part of themselves. They began to align more with it. And they may have seen this before. They've likely done this before because, of course, they've got the false self. It's made up of many different people, even celebrities. So they may assume that because they've already been involved with you, they've already caused problems, stolen from you, sabotaged you, they may assume that you're going to go off and create a new version of yourself, one that isn't connected or associated with them and the things that they did to you. So they may already have this presumption in their minds, and then they go to spy on you to see what you're going to come up with next. Maybe you're going to dress a different way. Maybe you're going to be into different music. And of course, since that's coming from you, it's your genuine interest, passion, and enthusiasm. There's a lot of energy in that. And so they want it. So this may be another reason why they're spying on you, to steal your characteristics, which they can then use to polish their false self. The third reason why the narcissist is spying on you is so that they can gather information to use against you. Now, this is a very important point to take note of, because it means that you need to be very careful with what you're putting out online. Information about you, your whereabouts, who you're spending time with, because they will spy on you to gather information to use against you. Which is why I advise for many of you to put your social media profiles on private. And I was thinking about doing that myself, but unfortunately, with my work, I can't. Because my Instagram, for example, is connected to my YouTube. And of course, I like to share my travels with you. I also put a lot of narcissistic abuse quotes on there. And my reels get a lot of plays from people all around the world. So if I was to put my profile on private, it would definitely affect my reach. So for those of you, if you're influencers or you have an online business, it may not be possible for you to do that. But at least just have the awareness that yes, the narcissist may be spying on you, they may be gathering information. So just be careful what you post online. And if it's possible for you to stay off social media, that may be better. Because even outside of the narcissist, you never know who you're dealing with. You never know who you're talking to. There's a lot of scammers, con artists out there. So definitely be careful online. Protect yourselves. But yeah, be aware that they are looking to gather information, things that they can use against you. And this could be part of something that they may use for a smear campaign, to turn people against you, to discredit you, to make you look bad. So yeah, something to be aware of. Number 4, the fourth reason why the narcissist spies on you is because they may be planning to hoover you. So they want to spy on you first, so that they can see what is the right time for them to do it. When is the best time for them to come back? When are you going to be more open to dealing with them? Because of course, when they're hoovering you, they want a positive response. They want you to be more welcoming and accommodating. They want you to give them another chance. So they may be looking at your social media profile and maybe you're still hurt. They might see that you're posting a quote about narcissistic abuse, and that may then trigger them to hoover you because they see an open door, they see they've got a chance. So again, be very careful with what you post online because they may be watching. If you're posting up a status with a sad emoji, they may take notice of that. and it may trigger them to hoover you. The fifth reason why the narcissist spies on you is to feed off your pain. Remember, many of them are sadistic. They find pleasure in your pain. A criminal often returns to the scene of the crime to see the aftermath of what they did, to see if you are still struggling. So they may be checking in on you to see how you're dealing with it, because of course they have some level of awareness of the things that they do to people. They know that it's going to have an effect on you, and they want to see how you're dealing with it. They want to see if you're getting through it. Of course, if you're still down, if you're still unhappy about what happened with them, if you're still going through it, then they're going to be getting off in it. It's going to be making them happy. It's going to make them feel powerful, important, significant in your life. Because remember, that's why they do these things as well. They turn against you, they devalue you, they attack you, because they just want a position of significance to you. And they couldn't get that another way. And also, when they do these things, yes, initially it gives them a high, it gives them an adrenaline rush, dopamine hit. But then what about afterwards? Then they've just got to go back to their miserable lives. So of course they're going to come back, they're going to check in on you again, so that it prolongs their fuel. It prolongs their high. It gives them another hit of the drug. So this is another reason why they spy on you, is to feed off your pain. The sixth reason why the narcissist spies on you is to sabotage you. So they may be looking to see if you're moving on, if you're happier now. Maybe you got a new job. Maybe you got promoted. You started a new business. And of course, they get very envious and jealous of these things. Maybe because they've got nothing going on in their lives, or even if they have, they're not satisfied with it. So they're always comparing themselves to other people. Many narcissists are constantly scrolling through their newsfeed, and it's making them sick. It's making them mad, envious, jealous, bitter and resentful. Now in their minds, unfortunately in their minds, they can't get to those people. They can't treat them how they would like to. They don't have access to them. But they may have access to you. They may have access to see what's going on in your life, if you're happy, if you're moving on, if you're successful, if you've got a new relationship. So, yeah, if you have anything, if you've developed anything after dealing with them, after you've moved on, they may be spying on you to see if there's an opportunity for them to sabotage you, to see if there's anything that they can destroy or anything that they can take away. Of course, first, they're going to try and steal from you. They're going to try and take it away. But if it's something that, for whatever reason, is out of their reach, if it's something that they can't obtain, then they're just going to destroy it. Because it's like the scenario that I mentioned before. Two children, one child got a new toy, the other child is envious of it. They might try and snatch it out of the other child's hands, but if they can't get it, then they will just try and destroy it. Because they don't want to see anyone else have it. They're very jealous. They're jealous of other people's happiness, other people's satisfaction, because it's not like that for them. So that's the sixth reason why the narcissist is spying on you, to see if there's anything that they can sabotage. And the seventh reason why the narcissist spies on you, it's because they feel rejected. They feel unwanted. And that may be for good reason, because with them spying on you, that may be unwanted attention. It may be attention that you do not want. But yeah, they mistreated you. They abused you, they disrespected you. And you weren't happy about it, you didn't like it. You know you don't deserve to be treated in that way. So maybe you confronted them. Maybe they could see that you weren't going to tolerate it. And maybe they gave you the silent treatment, they ghosted you, they discarded you. Or maybe you rejected them. But either way, whether they pulled back or you got rid of them, they still felt rejected. And a lot of people don't realize this. But yes, a lot of times the narcissist will give you the silent treatment. They will ghost you, they will discard you because they feel rejected. This happens all the time. It's not that they're rejecting you, they already feel rejected by you. Narcissists always have to be in a position of power and control. They've always got to have the advantage, they've always got to have the upper hand. So when they feel like you're rejecting them, you're disapproving of them, you're not going to tolerate them, then they will pull back, they will withdraw. They will beat you to the punch. They will get you before you get them. And they will be much faster than you because they're terrified of rejection. Remember, they abandoned their true selves a long time ago. The last thing they want is to be rejected. It would humiliate them. It would make them feel worthless. Now, of course, when you reject, maybe not them completely, but a proposal or idea, you reject an advance, you reject something from them, or you just don't tolerate it, you set a boundary, that's already painful for them. It causes a narcissistic injury, and they may then seek to punish you by rejecting you. But either way, whichever way you look at it, they feel rejected. And rejection breeds obsession. So whether they give you the silent treatment, ghost or discard you, or you reject them, either way, it's going to breed obsession because either way they've been rejected. Otherwise, if they didn't feel rejected, then they wouldn't have ghosted you, they wouldn't have discarded you, they wouldn't have given you the silent treatment. They do that because they feel rejected. They feel that you've set a boundary. Because they were involved with you already. They were already talking to you. They were already with you. They already targeted you for a reason. So it's only because they feel rejected. And when that happens, it does breed obsession. They start becoming obsessed with you. And that's why you start to see them spying on you. And it's because of this fear that they have. Not just the fear of rejection, but also the fear of missing out. Narcissists always feel like they must be missing out on something. And this is why they're always on social media, they're always scrolling. They've always got to be at the parties, the events, they've got to be everywhere. They've always got to be in the know. They've always got to have information, secret knowledge. They've always got to know your whereabouts, what you're doing, who you're with. Because they always feel like they're missing out on something. So it's this, it's the rejection coupled with the fear of missing out. This is what drives them. And also, it may not just be activities that you're involved in or things that you were doing. It could be a fear of missing out on your money, your possessions, any services that you could provide, and especially sexually as well. And that's a very important point to mention, because a lot of the stalking, watching you, spying on you, it is sexually driven. It's driven by their sex drive, by some inability to feel sexually satisfied. So they need you. And yes, they may be stalking you on social media, watching your reels, your pictures, and just for any chance that they get to see you. And it's sexually driven a lot of times. And I would say that when it is driven by their sex drive, it's going to be more extreme. It will be a lot more extreme, to the point where they may install a tracking device on your car, spyware on your phone or computer, and in some situations they can even install surveillance cameras in your home. Of course, in this age of technology, it's becoming more and more common. This is happening everywhere around the world. And I've even heard about narcissists installing surveillance cameras in their victims' bathroom. And I don't know if this could be to watch them in the shower, the bath, maybe even using the toilet. Because when they have an obsession, and when they're spying on you, what this means is that they're not satisfied. So they're craving more of you. It's not enough for them, because they have insatiable desires that can never be fulfilled. And they're very egotistical. The ego always wants more. So they want to feel more important, which means that they want to be as close to you as possible. They want to be as intimate as possible. And this is why there's a lot of people in the world today that like to engage in BDSM. Because what's more intimate than that? And this is why they're spying on you, because they want to be as close as possible, as intimate as possible. They want to infiltrate every nook and cranny of your life. They want to get into every aspect of it, to where they feel like they're fusing with you, they're becoming one with you. Because again, they may be idealizing you, they may view you as superior to them. And they feel like they've got to align with you, they've got to join you, become one with you. Because otherwise you're going to overpower them, you're going to blow them away. You're just going to make them feel worthless, insignificant, unimportant. Because they view you as greater than them. They view you as greater than their own false self. And I've spoken about this in past videos, maybe not in a live video, but I have spoken about it in a past video. I guess sometimes the narcissist can view someone as greater than their own false self. I don't think that this happens a lot, but it does happen. So something did happen, and they idealized you. They viewed you as perfect. They began to adopt your qualities, your traits, your characteristics. They wanted to be more like you because they viewed you as more desirable than their false self. And this is how they then become obsessed with you, because they feel like this person who's greater than them, this person who is superior, does not want them, isn't interested in them. So of course, because they can't align with you, they can't fuse with you, that causes them to feel completely worthless, insignificant. It makes them feel like their own false self isn't good enough. So then what do they have to do? They have to stalk you, which goes back to my first point. The first reason for why they spy on you, which is the fantasy. By stalking you, it then brings them back into the fantasy. It allows them to disconnect from themselves. And of course, when they disconnect from themselves, they're operating with a false self. So by stalking you, it validates the false self. It props the false self back up and puts it back on a pedestal. Even though they're not even in direct contact with you. You're not even talking to them. But just by watching you and of course, at some point they have to go from idealizing you to devaluing you. And it could go back and forth. Even though they're not even in contact with you, they're not even in connection with you. And this is all going on without your knowledge and awareness, without you even interacting with them. This process is going on in their minds where they're going from idealizing to devaluing you and then back to idealizing you again, just going back and forth without any direct contact with you. Because it's all just a fantasy in their minds. And of course it would be a fantasy because in reality, none of us are perfect. None of us are either all good or all bad. And even then, even for someone who maybe thinks that perfection is real, perfection does exist, even for that to be the case, it would have to be relative. It would have to be relative to the individual, to the observer. The same thing with the devaluation. If something's deemed to be worthless, it's relative to the observer. And this is all from moment to moment. Something could be perfect in one moment and it could be completely imperfect in the next moment, depending on the observer or the people involved. Because not everything is for everyone. And that's the thing, I mean, if they're really just shifting from these two extremes, from idealism to then just flat out devaluing you, that suggests that it's not meant for them. You're not meant for them. And I don't think that we are meant for narcissists. I think the best thing for narcissists is really just to be around each other. They should all just go off in their own little fantasy world instead of bothering us, because we don't want to be in their fantasy. We'd much rather just be in reality. We enjoy connecting with people. We don't enjoy disconnecting from ourselves. And I mean, that's the problem that we all have when we're dealing with narcissists. It's that by dealing with them, we become less and less like ourselves. And then we begin to miss ourselves. So clearly, we're not interested in that. We'd much rather just be ourselves. We'd much rather just do our own thing with people who are more like us. We don't want to go into fantasy. We don't want to be delusional. But then that's just it, because it's a potent source of supply for them. If they can get someone real to validate their alternate world, I mean, of course, that's a very powerful experience for them. It doesn't mean so much when someone's just fake, just like them. It means so much more when they can get someone who's real, genuine, authentic, to validate their false self. It makes it feel much more real to them. And this is why they often like to target successful, accomplished people. People who have actually done the work. And I think I've discussed this scenario before, but I will discuss it again. It just came to mind now. But it could be likened to, if you imagine an artist, someone who's really put in the work for months, maybe many years, and they have painted a masterpiece. And maybe you're learning to be an artist and you just created some work yourself. Now, of course, it's going to mean so much more to get validation, to get approval from someone who's got all of that wisdom on art, someone who has all of that experience. They've already seen so many works of art already. They've already experienced so much. It's going to mean so much more for that person to approve of your work, rather than someone who has no knowledge, no experience. They never created anything on their own. It's going to mean so much more to get it from that person. The same thing with someone who's real, genuine, authentic. To validate something that isn't real, it means much more. So this is it. This is why the narcissist spies on you. 7 reasons. The first reason is because it's a form of escapism. The second reason is to steal your characteristics, to polish their false self. The third reason is to gather information to use against you. Number 4, they may be spying on you because they're planning to hoover you. 5, to feed off your pain. 6, to see if there's anything that they can sabotage. And 7, they may be spying on you because they feel rejected. And rejection breeds obsession. So those are the 7 reasons. And if you have any questions on what I've said to you in this video about narcissists and spying, do let me know in the live chat. I will read out your question and respond to it. I've just been working all day and feeding and playing with Nala. Gonna get ready soon and go to the gym. And I've got a video prepared that's going to premiere in 9 hours. Going back to the old format, as I mentioned in yesterday's live video, with the voiceover and the video clips. So I have arranged video clips for this video rather than images, which should make the video a bit more entertaining. And I spent about 3 hours just editing the video and in the video clips. So I do spend a lot of time producing it. Writing up the video took me about 2 hours. Recording the voiceover took about 30 minutes, and then another 2 hours for editing. So that's 4.5 hours of work just to produce one video. And then of course, even after I've produced it, then I go to read the comments to see how the video is doing. So this all takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of work. But I'm hoping that the work will pay off. It will spread the awareness of this. The George says, I've got to hit the gym one day. Yeah, the gym is very good, it's very healing. It's good to exercise, it's good to come back to yourself and to reflect and take care of your body. Because of course, when you're dealing with narcissists, it's just all about them. They need constant attention, constant validation, constant care and support. And then it causes us to neglect ourselves. So bringing that attention back to ourselves and our own bodies by exercising, that then allows us to center with ourselves. Sarah Woodward says, what time is it there? It's now 3 p.m. Just been working, had something to eat. I finished the video for tonight. And this is the live video done, so now I'm gonna go to the gym and then start making notes for my next video. Only Brian 47 says, what did you eat today? I actually don't eat a lot like I used to. I used to really enjoy my food. I would eat about 3 meals a day. Each meal would have starters, main course, dessert, and a drink. But these days, I mean, for lunch today, I just had a pot noodle, which is about, it's only like around 1 Malaysian ringgit. It's about 20 cents in the US. That's my lunch. Thanks, Sarah. Yes, I will enjoy my workout. The George says, yeah, it's so hard to center myself, all these narcs in my life, trying to distract me and devalue me or something daily. I say it's because you have the light, you have the energy. You're a power source to them because you're authentic. So they got to get your attention, as I mentioned about the artist validating someone who's just beginning in art. It means so much more. Just as it means so much more for narcissists to get your validation because you're real, you're authentic. So if you validate them, it must be true. That's why they always want you to be in agreement with them. Thank you for the donation, Medusa. Jeanette Jowers says, it's 3 a.m. and I stumbled on your video. You just made me realize that my last relationship was with an extreme narcissist. Wow, this explains so much. I'm 63, been married twice, and I had to leave. Quite late there, Jeanette. I'm glad you clicked on Q. I'm glad that I could help you. QD Johnson says, why is it that when I work out, about 30 to 45 minutes later, I get upset? I don't know. I mean, for me, I find that when I work out, it releases the endorphins, feel-good chemicals in the brain. And I personally feel much better after I work out for the entire day. And it may even affect the rest of the week. But in relation to narcissism, let's think about it. Why would someone feel upset after working out? Maybe it's because you've been trained to not spend any time with yourself, to not take care of yourself. And I do know what that's like. But that was never connected with the gym for me because in my family, with my parents always supported me going to the gym. If anything, that was the one thing that I was actually supported for, is exercising. So it definitely, it's a positive association for me personally, but I can understand how, yes, self-care, we've been trained to not do that normally. And I found that when I look in the mirror, when I just any sort of connection to myself, always received a negative response. Because of course, they don't want you to keep just giving that authenticity, that genuineness back to yourself. Fake narcissistic people, you know, your authenticity for them is like, all right, yeah, just send that my way. Give me your authenticity, give me your realness, because they haven't got any of that. So I believe that that's why they don't want you to practice self-care, and also they just want your attention to be all on them. And of course, with you neglecting yourself, it helps them to maintain control. The George says, like the cup noodles, I have a pot noodle in my cupboard. Yeah, I don't mind it. I always used to eat that as a child as well. Although I didn't get the actual pot noodle. I just got a regular one, a cheap one. Jennifer Cross, why do narcs play mind games? Oh, that's an easy one. Just think about it. Why would a person play mind games? Why would they operate more in the mind? It's because reality is not how they would like it to be. So they see it as though maybe they got a better chance in the mind, and that's why people like to manipulate. Sheila Alwaldi says, I like it when you share about your trips to the gym, or the times you relax with your non-alcoholic beer and chocolate. Just those simple things like having a fur baby helped me to appreciate. The non-alcoholic beer and chocolate, that was in the Lake District a few years ago. Yeah, that's it. I rented a 5-bedroom house there with a beautiful view of the Lake District. I don't remember if Nala was there though. If she was, I'm sure she enjoyed that location. I probably did bring her there. But yeah, those were good times. I remember it like it was yesterday, sitting on the chair in the basement lounge. That house had 2 lounges. It's very cozy in the basement. It had like an old fireplace and these the red furniture, the non-alcoholic beer. And that box of vegan chocolates. I'm not sure where I got them. I think it was from Marks and Spencer. But yeah, good times. And all of that was just before my channel blew up and became really successful. Only Brian 47 says they hate to see you glow up. Oh, they do. Again, they hate any form of authenticity. And many of you, chosen ones, empaths, your authentic nature is abundance. Because we came here to be abundant so that we could help as many people as possible. This is why you see so many people in the world who are in positions of power, and yet they don't want to help anyone And maybe I'm just one of the rare few people in this world, but I personally believe that if you have power, if you have authority, and if you're successful, if you make a lot of money, then to some extent it is your duty to help others, especially those who don't have the same opportunities, rather than those who are just lazy. But yeah, they hate it when you glow up. They hate to see you shine. They hate your authenticity. Medusa says, I play all your videos loud so the neighbors get the message and leave me alone. Sarah Woodward says, how is Nala? She seems to be fine. I haven't noticed any issues. One thing I did notice is she stood in the litter tray just for a moment, and then just she didn't actually use it. But she has been using the litter tray, and she hasn't been meowing at all, so I don't think that there is an issue. I'm still giving her the apple cider vinegar. I've reduced the dosage. I'm still confident that she's going to be fine. There shouldn't be any problems. She seems happy. Lego Man says, I like your haircut. Thank you, Lego Man. But I am thinking of cutting it maybe a bit shorter next time. I'm not sure. Let me know, what do you think? Should I go for a shorter style this time? This is normally the shortest that I have it. Alex Major says, I truly believe NS makes the best of his life. Yes, I do try each and every day to make the best of my life. Of course, that's what we all should do. Never neglect your own life. Make the best of it, make the most of it. We should not abuse our own lives. The George says you can turn volume up. Maybe I'm just not holding the microphone close enough. Achit Sanji says they hate your authenticity. What does that even mean? Well, it just means that we're genuine and we're sincere. We're true to ourselves. We don't deviate from who we are. We don't pretend to be something that we're not. So what you see is what you get. There's no hidden agenda. There's no ulterior motive. We're not trying to cheat, trick, or deceive people. We're not trying to exploit anyone. We're just being ourselves. And that's what they hate about us, because narcissists do cheat, they do steal, they do trick and deceive, they do impersonate, they do just sell people a dream, they do cut corners. And this is why, even if a narcissist does become successful, they don't find any fulfillment in it, because it's not something they're passionate or enthusiastic about. It's just something they use to trick people to get to where they wanted to be. And that's why they hate real people, because we can actually find fulfillment in things. We have that passion. We actually care about people rather than just about ourselves. The George says you should slick it back again. Sarah Woodward says, I would love to have a one-on-one with you at some point, Christopher. Yes, you're welcome to book a one-on-one with me anytime. All right. I'm gonna go and do my gym workout, do a bit of yoga as well. I'm subscribed to Sean Veig Fitness on YouTube. I've been watching his videos now for about maybe 4 years. Since he was 46, now he's 50. And he's still doing his yoga videos, they're really good. I remember back then, 4 years ago, in the apartment I had in Wales, when I started making money from YouTube, then I invested in a nice blue yoga mat, and I was doing yoga every day. So getting back into the yoga now as well. Check out Sean Veig Fitness on YouTube. He's got some really good yoga videos. Definitely something I recommend. Those of you healing from narcissistic abuse, it's very healing to do yoga. But yeah, that's it for this one. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Click all notifications as well so that you will be notified when I go live again. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Donations are greatly appreciated, no matter how small. You can donate to my PayPal. It's paypal.me/Narc Survivor. For one-on-one coaching, just go to my website. It's narcsurvivor.co.uk. And follow me on Instagram. It is Narc Survivor YouTube. Thank you all, and